My mind is just buzzing today. It's on X. Everything is about politics. I love politics, but at a certain point, even I get a little tired of the craziness, of the lies, of the misinformation, of the statements that are just not really quite true, just slightly off. But we're not going to talk about any of that today. Let's start out. This is Nick's Cruz Patane. He goes by just exactly that. N-I-C, another C, R-U-Z-P-A-T-A-N-E, if you want to follow him on X. He says this is what Trump said about Elon Musk and EVs. I love him, and I'm constantly talking about electric cars, but I don't mean I'm against them totally or whatever, but the market, whatever the market says, and if it's 10% or 12% or 7% or 20%, whatever it is, it's okay. But you can't have 100% electric cars. He's a brilliant guy, and every time I call him, he's talking about, I got some new idea for a rocket. So anyway, this is what I'm talking about. This is my goal. This is my hope. Whatever your politics are, that if Trump is the victor, that Musk's bet, whatever his bet is, and there's a lot of confusion about what that bet is. Elon said today that it had nothing to do with an existing pact, that he created his own pact, and that he put X amount of dollars in, but didn't tell us how much. Anyway, whatever all that means, we do believe that Elon definitely has the ear of the President of the United States. I know I keep saying that, but it's just such an obvious way to say it. He's a phone call away. He can call him. The president calls Musk. So this is all good, and it's going to help. I think long term, it's going to be a positive for Tesla. James Carmack, C-A-R-M-A-C-K. He is the he's at 𝐭eN Technologies. He's a former CTO of Oculus, founder of Armadillo Aerospace. He has 1 million followers, and this is what he had to say. He says, by the way, you can find him at @ID_AA_Carmack, C-A-R-M-A-C-K. He says, look, Tesla full self-driving has made significant strides in the last year, and I'm feeling very confident about this bet. I made multiple 2-hour drives without touching the wheel. I wouldn't have wanted the task of leading a self-driving effort for a couple of reasons. There was uncertainty that working in all the possible situations might be an AGI complete problem. You work almost everything out, but you just can't get that crucial last bit reliable enough. I now think they will be able to data it across the finish line without any research breakthroughs. Move fast and break things. Elon Musk says that all the time, really is the most effective way to build new things, and that just isn't an option with passengers on public roads. So cheers to the team for attacking a daunting but grand and worthy task. So apparently he had a bet. He has another long-term bet, he said. He bet Coding Horror, I don't know who that is, $10,000 that by January 1st, 2030, completely autonomous self-driving cars meeting SAE J3016 level 5 would be commercially available for passenger use in major cities. That bet is going to be his, he'll be picking up that check. All right, this is from AELLUS Swami. L. Swami. I think he's an employee. I'm forgetting his actually name. He says, if you liked FSD 12.4, you're going to love 12.5. He's in charge of the AI system, and I didn't write down his actual name, and it just doesn't come to me right now. Anyway, he was responding to what John Carmack said. James Catt came in at 59 cents. Including the one-time charge. That's his estimate of what's going to come out on Tuesday. So that would be about 71 cents or so without the charge. So as we head towards Tuesday, what do you think? I might be hoping that might move the stock back towards 265 or beyond that could happen at the Tuesday meeting. Number one, of course, would be gross margins. I think anything 18% or above, probably going to move the margins. Number two will be Elon confirming that total unit would be a beat compared to 2023. Anything over 18.2 million, all he's got to do is say, nope, we're still on track. We are going to beat 2023 numbers, and I think that'll be enough to move the market a bit. Number 3 would be an energy margin surprise above 25%. I think pretty much anybody that's paying attention to energy right now is expecting 25 or less, maybe 23, 22% in terms of this particular print. But if it's above 25%, I think that would shock a lot of people and would be a big plus. Number 4 would be some color on the energy deployment full year. So right now we've got a kind of an okay month, and then we have this giant month at 9.4. We know that the capacity is 10 gigawatts per month. So I would think that if we could get an energy deployment number above 16 megawatts more for the second half, in other words, 8 megawatts in the third quarter, 8 megawatts in the fourth quarter, megawatt hours. I think if we could show, if Elon would project anything over 16 or more megawatt hours for the second half, I think that that could inch up the market. It would give more information to be put in the spreadsheet. How about number 5 would be an optimistic view of FSD complete, which is different, of course, from FSD level 5. So if somebody other than Elon were to say, look, we are now thinking FSD will be complete in the third quarter, that would move the stock. Because why? Because that actually comes to the bottom line. There's a profit that is not being shown, not being realized, that could be taken in the third quarter if it was complete. And then if anybody other than Elon would say, yes, we believe that we're just actually weeks away from having level 5 fully autonomous driving, then that would certainly be a big deal. Elon has said it a few times. So for somebody else to say it, that would be important. Number 6, an increase in deployment of Optimus into the dozens. So right now there's apparently 2, that's what we've been told, 2 Optimus working. Well, if we went from that last conversation to a new conversation that said, well, based on those 2 guys doing such a good job, those 2 gals, whatever, those 2, based on those 2 Optimi doing a good job out there, we've decided to deploy another couple of dozen. This is really working out well. We're excited. Everything's going along well. I think that it might not move the market a lot, but I think it would move it a little. But I don't think if it's just another 6 or another 10, I don't think that'll do it. And even a couple of dozen might not. Number 7, a dojo surprise in terms of deployment or beating expectations. I don't know if it'll actually move the market, but it couldn't hurt. If we talk about it in terms of the total number of megaflops, and what the goal was and where we are in that goal, I think that would be extremely helpful. Number 8, Elon giving some color or some kind of expectations on upward, going up in sales in 2025 of unit volume of vehicles. If he would give some, he talked about this being a trough between 2, upward slopes. What might that upward slope look like in 2025? Some kind of color on that. I think that would be helpful. So what do you think? Do you have anything that you think might move the market? I mean, something realistic. I think all those are realistic. Or do you think none of those are, do you think some of those are just not realistic? This is Randy Kirk. It's time to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify button. Tomorrow morning, we will have what? Who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. Do I know what I'm going to do tomorrow noon? I'm not sure how many shows we'll have tomorrow. What I do know is tomorrow night will be Monday morning, the Monday morning show, where we talk about all the stuff that's going to happen the following week. And it will be a pretty important week coming up, the third week of the month. We'll have lots of earnings reports, lots of other things besides just the Tesla earnings reports. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow night. I'm comfortable and confident that I'll give you something tomorrow morning that'll be fun and interesting. All right, we have Larry's video. Earlier today, we did Larry's life story, and so far the comments on Larry's life story have been outstanding and fun. People seem to enjoy hearing all the things that Larry did growing up, starting out, first 32 years of his life in South Africa, then moving to London, then on to the United States. I think you're going to like it. Check it out. I'm going to put a card up in just a minute. Okay, this is from the 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐫𝐝 letter. And this is going to be the opposite of what I've been saying the last few days. So I'm showing you I'm keeping an open mind. Of course, I've been saying that this is not a rotation. What we're seeing in the market is not a rotation. What we're seeing is a pullback. 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐫𝐝 says this. He says, breaking, U.S. small cap stock funds saw their second largest weekly inflow on record. Over the last week, almost 10 billion flowed into U.S. small cap funds. That's only below the 14 billion seen in 2007 before the financial crisis started. This coincided with a 12% rally on the Russell 2000, the 10th through the 16th. Of course, they didn't have such a great day on the 17th or the 18th or the 19th. Anyway, it didn't end up that well. It's now down 5% from its recent high. Not its all-time high, its recent high. And it's the best 5-day outperformance of the S&P 500 in history, which also now is down 5% from its all-time high. So there's a lot of stuff going right and left with regard to this. I'm still not convinced that it's a rotation. I can see where there could be an inflow into these small cap funds based on the theory that maybe there was going to be a rotation, but then the rotation was not, there was not enough happening to make it actually take place. So we'll see. One wag responded to the 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐶 letter saying, yeah, when the small cap funds start really doing well, that's usually indication that the rest of the market is going to collapse. So he wasn't excited, I guess. Meanwhile, call option volume on the Russell 2000 also broke a record on Tuesday with 2.4 million contracts, but that was Tuesday. Things changed on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so he wants to know, are small caps taking control of the market? I'm saying at this point, no, in my opinion. We'll see. But right now, and I could change my mind, I'm still open, looking to see what happens next week, to see whether this is a pullback, a rotation, or just a minor correction, a 5% correction. I don't think it's just going to be a 5% correction. I think it's going to be a 10% correction. I don't think it's going to go fully into bear. So another 5% correction and then off to the races and finishing higher than the all-time high in all of the indices by the end of the year. That's my continuing theory. All right. So as promised, Larry Goldberg's video, I'm putting the card right there. You do not want to miss it. You want to go check it out. And until tomorrow morning, when I will do something, I'm sure, it has been great talking to you.